Here's one that's completed, and here's just the base. But let me show you my Tegus' favorite part of collecting my own dirt. Let me show y'all what we've got. Let's look at this. Hello my Tegu people. So today we're going to take that enclosure build that you may have already watched. If you haven't, I'm going to put a card up right now. So if you haven't seen that video and you're interested in building an outdoor enclosure, go ahead and click that link and that will take you to part 1 of this series. Now, today in part 2, I am going to show you how I set up the inside of the enclosure, from the substrate to the hide, to the heat inside the hide, the light, the decorations, everything. So from ground zero and up, I'm going to show you exactly how I set all of that up. So make sure you stay tuned for the entire video so you can know exactly how to set up the inside of your outdoor Tegu enclosure. Now, let's get started. If you like these cool ideas about getting your reptiles outside and how to do that safely and appropriately, subscribe to this channel. We've got more videos coming up on exactly that topic. So as you can see right here, I've got the base of one of our outdoor enclosures. Here's one that's completed, and here's just the base. I have not put in the walls on. So I laid it down and I'm starting to get some loads of dirt. I get this dirt from a spot in my yard that needs to be dug out. It's nothing special. If you buy your dirt, that is okay. You typically want to get the cheapest stuff, make sure there's no additives. So what you want to do here, this is a pretty important step, is you want to take your dirt that you dig up or that you buy, and you want to make sure that you get it through the wire. Okay, so I push it all the way through. I just rub it back and forth until it's through the entire wire. That way you can step in your enclosure and you don't have to worry about ripping staples out. Okay, so you want your dirt to go through your wire, and then you keep adding some until you get some dirt on top of the wire, so you can step on it and it'll be nice and secure. So I'm going to get several more loads of dirt in my wagon, keep on doing this until the whole enclosure is filled with dirt. Once I'm done with that step, I'll be right back with y'all. So this is the tub of dirt. Takes like 5 of these, 6 of these to get it done, but let me show you my Tegus' favorite part of collecting my own dirt. Let's see if I can find one. Let's see. There we go. This. I don't know if you guys know, but Tegus absolutely love night crawlers, and they will, when I put them in the enclosure, there's another one. They will dig through the enclosure and find these worms and just go crazy over them. They love them. So, and in this soil I'm digging up, it's very rich, very dark, healthy soil, and it is full of night crawlers. It's where I go to dig if I'm gonna go fishing. So, speaking of night crawlers, why don't we take one and give it to Van? I see he's out. Let's see what he thinks about it. Let's just drop it on through here. Oh yeah, told y'all. They love these night crawlers, and I was actually watching him dig around through the enclosure. He was finding them yesterday, so I knew he'd go for it. All right, enough of that. Let's get back to digging. All right, we've just about got that part done. Took about 20-30 minutes, and that includes shoveling the dirt and bringing it back here. So not bad. Smoothing it all out, getting it underneath that welded wire, nice underneath that, so I can step on it and so the Tegus aren't walking on wire. So next step is constructing the hide. I'll show you what I use. I use these bricks. It takes 13 of them to create the hide, and the hide's gonna go right here in this corner. So I'm going to start putting that together, and I will show y'all how I did that in just a second. So, starting to come alive, starting to look good. Let me show y'all what we've got. So we've got the outline of the hide. Now, we still have 2 more bricks that we're gonna put in the entrance, but I'm gonna save those for just a minute. What we're gonna do next is we are going to take our top and we're gonna place our heater on the top side of the board that's gonna go inside of the hide. So now you will have a heated hide. And so once I get this hooked on, I'll show y'all more of how that's gonna work. So I don't have the heater placed on the board yet, but let me show you how I have it cut out. So I got a 8x4 sheet of treated plywood, and I cut it, that 8x4 will cut into 3 equal parts. And so I cut it so where there's some overhang right here. And what that creates, as you can see right now, right here, it just creates a shaded area. So they have their hide, they can bask in the sun, or they can go out in the shade for that thermal regulation. So I really like this. Not every enclosure has it. I've done it to like the last 4 or so, but I think it's really nice and it works well. And I actually see them utilize this quite often. Then what I'm going to do is take my Reptitherm Zoomed Habitat heater. I'm actually going to screw it in to the top of the hide. You don't want to over tighten it because it is plastic and it can crack. But I'm going to screw that in, and the next shots I'll get some measurements so you guys can know exactly where to put it. I've done it enough times where I just kind of eyeball it. So, but hey, let's get some measurements after I get this last screw in. All right, let me go get my measuring tape and we'll get some measurements for you guys. Okay, so make sure from the back of your board, you measure up, let's see, about 8.5 inches. So 8.5 inches, and then, let's see, from the side with the power block, you're going to be 17.5. So 8.5 from the back, 17.5 from the side with the overhang, the shade. So let me get this placed on there and see if those measurements are correct. All right, so that's a pretty good snug fit. Let me show you kind of what we're looking at this far. We've got the dirt in, we've got the hide in place, and we've got the heater inside of the hide. So next step is to place our bricks in the front. All right, Tegus fans, look at this heated hide coming together, looking fantastic. I gotta straighten up the board a little bit, but other than that, it's looking good. It's gonna work great, and Tegus will love it. It's spacious and it's perfect. I mean, then they have, it doesn't waste any space in the enclosure. So that's what I like about it. It's not too high off the ground where they will climb on top of there and still be able to enjoy all the space on top of the hide and inside the hide. I've been using these enclosures and these heated hides for a few years now in Texas, and on the cooler days I've noticed that it can keep temperatures about 15 degrees higher than what it is outside. And with the hides, the heaters turned off on those hot days, it can be up to like 20 degrees cooler inside. So those cylinder bricks do a great job at insulating and holding consistent temperatures. So yep, cooler nights 10 to 15 degrees higher, and warm days 15 to 20 degrees cooler. So they work well. We've enjoyed them, so I hope you guys do as well. Now we made our way over to another enclosure because I'm going to show you how we hook up the lighting. Okay, this enclosure that we are currently working on, I'm not going to do lighting. It gets plenty of sun. It gets really hot right there on the ground. It's going to easily get to 120. But for some of the enclosures that have more sun, I mean more shade or more sporadic sun, I do hook up supplemental lighting as well. So let me show you exactly how we do it. It's so simple, it's easy, you're gonna love it. So what we do is we cut out a little spot in the hardware cloth on top. We actually have it cut out right here. Then we take the light and we just use some wire and attach it to the top. And then on top of the hide, we add a cylinder block, and that is their basking platform. You'll have to tweak, you know, depending on what bulb you use, but you know, we make it to where our basking platform hits about 120 to 130 during the day. And so this gives them somewhere consistent to bask, even on those overcast days. So we've enjoyed using it, and the tegus really seem to love it. I can see them coming out in the mornings, and they usually sit in that basking spot that we've created. And then as the day gets warmer and different areas in the enclosure heat up, they'll use those areas instead. So, but like I said, this enclosure is in direct sunlight for like several hours a day, so it's gonna get plenty hot enough and be perfect. So I don't think I'm gonna hook up any additional lighting in that one. And the last thing I like to do in their enclosure is a little decoration. Every enclosure has one of these logs. Not only does it block rain from getting inside, which it's not super needed, the rain really doesn't get in there anyways, but having this log gives them an easy way to climb up on top of the basking platform, as well as they can use it to rub up against to help them shed. So I go local parks or even in my own backyard, get some of these logs and I add them to the enclosures. Then the tegus really seem to enjoy them a lot. Well, I hope this video gave you guys some good ideas. I'm gonna sign out here and finish this enclosure today, put the walls up, put the door on, and maybe move a tegu in. So I hope you guys got some great ideas and just got a little bit more insight on how we set up the inside of these enclosures. So you've now seen step by step how we build one, and now you know how we set up the inside. So there's no excuses why you can't get out and set your tegu up outside. Well, that is, of course, if you live in a state that won't be good. But if you're in some of these southern states, this works great for your reptiles in their outside enclosures. So comment below if you have any questions about anything, any steps of this process or anything else. Let me know. I've responded to every single comment on this channel this far. So feel free to ask questions. Let me know what you guys think about these heated hides. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Bye.